why do you think that students in India seek to go abroad rather than studying in India? Do you think it's a good idea to go abroad?
So I think, there are goods and bads about the whole story. Now let's understand that Indian education system technically has failed to cope up with, the international education system. So that's a very classic problem, that Indian education system was designed by Britishers to create slaves. Basically, that is the kind of archaic system. And you'll be surprised, but I was looking at, the 10th standard CBSE book or a 12th standard CBSE book, and it was just reprinted for the last 15 years without any change. Exam pattern, system, most of it remains as bad or as you can imagine. So for further studies, you understand colleges are even worse off. I mean, colleges, there is nothing happening. The salary levels of the professors are low, the quality of education is low in the country, and NEP is yet to be implemented. So there are definitely differences which Indian education system has to cope up with. That's part one of the story. Having said this, I have to tell you something more interesting here, that do you know what does India export the most? And the answer is IITians, right? So Indian education system on the other side is also very interesting and very good. So for example, an institution like IITs, it's now known for creating CEOs, right? So Indian education system is producing the best CEOs in the world who go out, study. So initial education, they do it in India. This actually gives them the grind, the competition that they have to really face. The most important part here is that India is a land of people. It's like too many people here, so it's highly competitive. And if it is so competitive a market, everybody learns to become a front runner. Everybody learns to become a horse. Everybody's there to jostle and find a space. So Indian education system has this clear advantage of making people that that person to fight and jostle and make their place. So in fact, you'll be surprised, but today getting into IIT is more difficult than probably getting into any of the Ivy League colleges in the world. We may not rate them amongst top 100, but then understand that. So Narayan Murthy's son was not able to make it to IIT, but then he had to study out, and he had to go out to finish his education, and he tried multiple times. So understand that that's exactly what is happening in this country. So I would say yes, all those who are trying to go out, if you have if you can't get admission in a good college in India, I agree, you have to go out, because probably you have to go, and all others, there are institutions like IITs and IIMs and SRCCs and other good colleges which exist, and there could be fantastic opportunities for everybody. So yeah, I think it's a good, bad, ugly situation.
You stated that 12th education system is very outdated and it's even worse for colleges. There's not exactly IIT and other top colleges in India, but the other colleges that are not in the top 1%. So how do you think they can improve their education?
So I think, ironically, you'll be surprised, but even IITs, the education system is not so good, but the quality of student itself is so great. So technically, what they teach in IIT is also fairly outdated to some extent. I can say, there are subjects and courses which have not updated themselves for so long, but the student quality is so amazing that they fight amongst themselves and really start shining. So it's technically a question of that zeal to fight your way through. So that's part one of the answer. Having said that, what is required? I think what is required is to stop looking at people where we say one stick fits all, right? So you have to change it. You have to actually change the parameters for every individual. See, there was earlier a problem of getting information. So when I was studying in college, we would not have information. We did not have books. We would jostle to go to the library. We would have, we did not know where to find the answers for various questions. Today, there is excess of information. There's too much. There's an information overload right now. And because of the information overload, the education system has to completely change. There are now good YouTube videos and resources and online information and everything. What you need to do here now is mentorship. So I think we don't have to really go back to the classes and say, okay, this is the subject, please cram this up, please learn this out and vomit it out in examination. What we need to rather say is, see, this is this entire gamut of information available in the world. Go to this entire world wide web and then filter it. Go to the right mentors to learn what to filter, what you should do, what you should not do. Teach them decision making abilities, teach them what to select, how to select. And education has to move from classic education to mentorship systems. right? So it has to be one-on-one, deciding what each student should do more counseling, do more, personal attention. And I think that is what the younger generation requires. It's difficult to execute. In fact, ironically, the old faculties will have to update themselves more than the students today. And that's so ironical that today a teacher does not know as much technology as a youngster would do. And that's so sad, right? So teachers need to update themselves so much that they say, no beta, come and I will teach you more now. So that has to happen. They have to give them the practical experience and knowledge around, so that they understand it, and give them a challenge and run for money for the knowledge that they have. So I think these are a couple of things which I think have to change in the education system to make it wow again.